And we're live. It took a little bit of us doing to get this put together.
That's all right, but we getting it done. We getting it done.
We're here.
Well, got it done.
Here's the thing. I'm so spoiled and used to you doing your videos outside under the beautiful Dominican Republic sun that I forgot if we chat at night, everything is just like night anywhere else.
Oh yeah, it goes dark. And then I got better like downstairs outside, but my my girlfriend is outside with her daughter, and they all in the pool. So man, they got the music playing. And I don't want to, tell them to shut it down.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up for them. You know, when I had a decent sized house in Vegas, and I know how those pool parties can get.
Yeah, but it's a pool party for two.
Gotcha. Well, listen, let me do this. For those who don't know, if for some reason I just hit a string of people living in Dominican Republic, specifically there was a city named Sosua, and gotten a lot of attention, and I ended up making a bunch of friends out there. I chatted with them. A lot of people have seen those videos, and I'll even re-put some of them up. But here's the thing. There was a name that just kept coming up. Have you talked to Russell Taylor? Russell Taylor, who's that? The first time I didn't. There's a lot of people out there. Second time, I decided let me go online and find out who this guy is. Let me go, just Google him, find out, blah blah blah. By the way, for those who haven't seen it, here's some of the. Let's see, where are we? We should be, I want to say, there. No, not that one. There's another one where I put up all the different videos that I had done in a relatively short period of time.
See, I'm still trying to master this whole computer thing, man. I'm still old school on it. And Lord knows I got plenty of time to learn, but
So yeah, we got a couple up there with Mr. Flip Flop and who was from Atlanta. No, he was from New York. He's from New York. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Bo Rakes from Atlanta.
Yep, I know Bo Rakes. Real good guy. Real good guy.
And after them, a couple of people said, "Listen, you got to talk to this dude, Russell Taylor." They were talking to you talking about you like you were the Godfather or something.
I've been called worse.
So then, when I looked you up, this is what I came across. Tailor-made dreams out of the Matrix, with you smiling, boats behind you, not a care in the world.
That's true.
And for those of you who are wondering, listen, as part of this conversation, we are definitely going to get to the dancing and the parties, and I'll let him explain mangoes to you because I felt like a knucklehead when I had to figure out what a mango was. But that's
man.
But that's not where I really want to start. And by the way, the cool thing about YouTube is I tell people this all the time. We can all be friends. It's not like the old days when I was a kid. If you had a favorite show that came on at 8 and I had a favorite show that came on at 8, we couldn't be in the same house together. Now you can find everybody that's interesting. Me in Brazil, you in Dominican Republic, and get all that information, get all those goodies.
Absolutely. And what I love about YouTube and social media, it's allowing us to tell our story from our perspective. And that's what I really love about it, because it's one thing when you go to Brazil or you come to Dominican Republic or wherever you may travel to, and you got to hear from a white person's perspective. But I want to hear from my perspective because we don't live in the same world. And I have white friends, and when they tell me, and when I say that, they're like, "What are you talking about, bro?" I said, "We do not live in the same world. How I see life and how people look at me is totally different. How you see life and how people look at you different. That doesn't mean we can't get along and have a great time. It just means that there are two different spectrums that the world sees us and how we see the world. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So I love the fact that we could tell our story from our perspective.
And everyone should. You know, whether you agree with mine or not, everybody can get that opportunity. Can get that opportunity to get out there. So here's where I want to start, though, because when we had that first chat, something interesting came up. You know, we're getting to know you, getting to know me, but here's the interesting part. I asked you a question that I ask everybody, and I find that with a lot of my friends and people who have become successful in whatever it is that they do, how did you get there? And you told me something. I wrote it down because I was like, we need to talk about this. That's we can talk about the fun and the sun, beach, women, all that later. That's going to be there. But when you told me what you used to do, it triggered books that I had read. Well, hold on. In your own words, how did you say, you know, the career you had before you retired to the fun and sun?
Well, I had a few careers. My most recent career, for several years, I was behavioral specialist with the government. Basically, I used to go around the country and teach people how to read people. You know, teach people how to step into a room and notice that something is off. You know, how to listen to people and hear how they try to deflect. You know, or hear how they try to not answer questions, you know, and just different cues, different cues of reading people's faces, their expression, you know, and just really teach people how to listen, because that's what it is. It's really listening and observing and asking questions and putting it in such a way where people don't even know that they're being actually maybe investigated, and they just think they just having a friendly conversation.
When drew you to that field?
Well, I'm a psych major. When I was in college, you know, that was one of the fields that I zoomed in on. I zoomed in on psychology as well as sociology. So I just always love people watching and what makes a person think, you know, the way they do. I've had some issues myself, because it's no secret that, you know, I've suffered from PTSD. So I always wanted to know, you know, or figure out a way how to help myself as well. So psychology was just something, man, and I love people, and just a way for me to help me figure myself out, help me figure out how the world works, and help me figure out how this all, you know, how I put this all together to make it actually work better for me.
Well, first, I want to applaud you for having the courage to straight out say, I suffered from PTSD, because that's something you know, not to get too maudlin, my father was drafted into Vietnam. And when he came home from A, being black, B, being black in a racist military, C, being, you know, there are some men who are built for combat, right? My dad, not one of those guys. You know, and my grandmother told me, go ahead.
No, I can understand it, definitely, because I mean, but it's something but it's not something that you just totally get over. It's something that you learn to deal with, you know. And some people are more successful at dealing with it, because it could be anything. You could not have an episode, like some people may have an anxiety attack, or some people just always angry. I've had a number of those. And then you could go for like a year having a great time, a great day, enjoying life, and then something will trigger that you know, that flashback, you know, or smell, or song. I mean, it's just what it is, you know. So, but I tell people, you can still lead a productive life, you know, even suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I think, honestly, most Black people, especially if you are living in the matrix, suffer from post-traumatic slave disorder, because there's no way you can constantly watch the images that you watch on TV, on, you know, out in the street, hearing on the radio of Black people getting shot, killed, abused. I mean, they would tell us we was crazy, it wasn't happening. Then we start showing them on film, and they're saying, well, no, you don't know what happened before. Then you have the whole thing recorded. Oh, well, you don't know the intentions of the, you know. So I'm saying, hey, this cannot affect you. There's just no way. There's just no way. It's just that a lot of people, even us, and I'm talking about Black folks, the Black community, have become almost numb to it. Now you got these crazy Negroes talking about, you know, they want a white dude to go up in a church and shoot everybody in there, and the first thing they come out and tell them, I forgive them. You know, what the hell is that? So for me, you know, and I understand religion, and I understand people, you know, want to, you know, lean to a higher power. But you know, but the thing is, I mean, for me personally, and I'm not talking about anyone's religion, I don't want to be a part of any religion that makes me a better slave. And I'm not trying to go off subject, but you cannot tell me that but that affects people, and even that whole slave religion that affects people, man. What makes you almost numb to somebody killing, like that kid who got killed, and I forgot what state it was, but the brother went and hugged the girl who shoot him. This man is sitting in his own house eating ice cream. This female cop barges in his apartment, shoots the man, and the brother want to give her a hug and tell, I don't want to go to jail. But this is how sickening the Matrix have made us as a community. And you can't tell me that's not post-traumatic slave disorder, where we actually can now accept and forgive and love. And I guess that's why when we kill each other on the magnitude we do, you know something, it doesn't phase us, because it's just like anything that society tried to introduce to you. You know, something that's not normal, but if they keep feeding it and force feeding it to you long enough, you become immune to it. It dulls your senses. So right now, even for Black people, man, it dulls their senses of getting killed.
I believe that's her, Amber Geiger.
Yes.
I believe that's her. He walked into a man's apartment and shot him while he was sitting on his couch eating ice cream, being Black.
Being Black in his own house. And the brother, now I don't know how much, I don't know if he loved his brother or not, but you know, you hear the evidence, you hear this woman, you hear that, I mean, clearly that this woman was outraged and was just really looking to just, you know, let go of her anger. And he says, I forgive you and I love you, and can I give her a hug? I mean, that's madness, man. That is absolutely madness.
Did you see the part of what I think should put her into a review board? The judge in her trial came down, gave her a Bible, and a hug.
Yes.
Which first of all, you're a judge. You're supposed to be the impartial hand of the law.
Yes. And
after finding a woman guilty,
go ahead, brother.
After finding a woman guilty of murder who got 10 years, she'll be out in 5.
Oh yeah, if not sooner. But I'm telling you, but that sickness, that post-order, that sickness have even gotten us to the point, the Black community, where we don't even take our own lives serious anymore, man. We don't. And for us, the community, when we see each other getting killed, it doesn't even bother us anymore. You know, let's forgive them. Because why? Because this is something they've always been doing. So, you know, it's not going to change. So let's just forgive them and move on. Fuck that.
I've been told we all need therapy. I've been told that we all need therapy.
We do. Well, if you look at, I mean, there was 4 years of the Holocaust, right? 4 years of the Holocaust. 4 years where basically the Jewish community, the ACLU, the FC, and every other Jewish organization went to the World Court, went to the UN, and said, listen, these 4 years have traumatized us so much that it would literally take centuries before it would make us whole as a people. All right. Now, 400 years of slavery. Then we come out into Jim Crow. Then we got to deal with Reconstruction. Then we got to deal with having rights and no, you don't have rights. I mean, and now we got all these years. So we got 600-700 years of horrific things happening to us. And guess what? They still think you're gonna be all right. Let's forget about it. That happened in the past. But every time a Jewish person bring up the Holocaust, you know, let's have a mourning party. Get out of here.
Here's the thing. They're right. They're
4
right.
years versus 400 years.
Other people. And that's the problem. It's not as if they're the only ones who say. But let's not even get stuck on that one. Let's keep going to what that, in my opinion, the primary conceit of what we may be discussing. I've had more and more professionals that I've known, talked to, have had the chance to chat with here say that all Black Americans should be in therapy, whether they know it or not. Should be in therapy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you add to that post-traumatic slave disorder, and then you take somebody who's like me, who now I got post-traumatic slave disorder, I got post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, then constant images of where I don't even know myself, because we let the white media and basically tell us who we are, tell us who our heroes are. We all need therapy. We all need therapy. And so that the professionals that told you that are absolutely correct. And that's why, I've argued so much when I was in school studying psychology. Man, me and my teachers argued all the time. They were so happy when my semester ended with them. They didn't know what to do with themselves.
Wow. So let me go back. When you talk about being a behavioral, how do you phrase it?
Behavioral specialist.
A behavioral specialist. That's a degree, correct? You go to school to become a behavioral specialist, right?
Behavioral specialist is basically you have your degrees in psychology, but then you may focus on certain aspects of it. So it's not a degree to that point. It's more training and certification at that point.
Okay. Well, let me show you something. Here's my first insight into what. Now you tell me, have you seen that book? And is that book related to what you do? It's called Mindhunter, Inside the FBI's Lead Serious Crime Unit, by John Douglas. And it's a recounting. Go ahead.
No. That I have not read that book, but I heard about that book, and from what I heard, it's pretty close because I used to actually train NCIC members. I've worked with the FBI.
Using letters we don't know. NCIC.
Yep. NCIC is what National Crime Investigation something. I forgot the other C stood for.
Wow.
But it's basically military.
And you train them on what to look for.
Yeah. Well, every acronym, every government acronym, FBI, CIA, DOT, all that stuff, all have their own behavioral programs that they run. But when one program may stand out more than the other, they want to dig in and see what makes this program work. The program that I was working with through the government, I don't want to mention the agency I was with, but our program was so our program was so tight that that we have calls from other agencies that said, listen, I want to see what exactly is this program about. Why is it so successful? And it was a very successful program that I was a part of, and also helped to even write some of the material after a while.
Now here's another book, when psychopaths go to work. And I'm going to throw a couple other titles out there, and I'm going to say the same thing about all of them. This is one. Have you read that one?
No, I have not.
Okay. Now here's a different one. Maybe I don't know if you've seen that one. These are all very commercially successful books, and by definition, if they're commercially successful, they have to be slightly watered down. But they're all nonfiction. This one, go ahead.
Yeah, I never really got into the commercial book aspect. I was more dealing with the clinical aspect. So that's because the commercial books are good and they do have, but we basically wanted to deal with the medical aspect because when something came up, when you had to investigate it. You had to go to court. They wanted to know, all right, so you reference this, sure they about I'm a you know, I've learned from this person who wrote a book, and a lot of times they some books go into that commercial, some books are really on in tune and dead set in the medical community as far as psychology. So I had to deal with more medical versus commercial.
So now, were you dealing with people after they had already been arrested, or are you the person that would help figure out their innocent? No.
No, I was the person that would basically maybe interview somebody, and after and if I felt that the person was just having, maybe the person just having a bad day, then I would suggest, all right, let's just let the person go on. They're just having a bad day. If I thought it warranted more investigation where we had to get the police to intervene, then that would happen. And a lot of times, sometimes it was the arrest, and sometimes they let the person go. But after they made the arrest, I had no more to do with it unless unless I had to go to court. It was a high profile case where they wanted to start from the very beginning of what made me choose this person, what made me pick this person out. Why was this person stopped? So, but it never really got to that. A lot of my cases that had my name on it, it was just basically open and shut. So it wasn't no like big time. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be careful with my wording, if you notice, because I don't need nothing to flash back on me. I kind of left that career alone. So
I understand. Well, you said something that was interesting because it triggered a quote. Not triggered. That's the wrong word. That's an insensitive word to use. By Alan Moore, phenomenal author who's written some amazing things. He said, all it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man to lunacy. And in my short life, one of the things that I found consistently, and I had two friends who were police detectives, and they said,
right.
As we know, we're jerks sometimes. And I said, but if you know that, why do you do it? He said, because the good news is as a regular guy, you don't know that everyone at any given time will do the right thing in the wrong situation or the wrong thing in the right situation. And that really got me. Let's see. Uh-oh, did our connection drop? You there? Wait for his connection to catch up while I go through. By the way, hey to Prince Diamond, I appreciate you dropping by. Make sure you share this. And matter of fact, not just Prince Diamond, Howard Cooper, Nathan Francis, Franciele, Zero the Infinite. I want everybody, make sure you share this on your Facebook somewhere. Make sure you share this on Twitter.
Yeah,
this is how I get to.
Hey,
we're back. We're back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I think it's been since they
Yeah, actually sent you a message to log out and log back in. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, but what I was saying before the internet went bad is a lot of times when you are in, especially in criminal justice field, it does affect you. I remember I also, one of my stages in former life, I was a deputy sheriff, and my ex-wife, after 2 years of being a deputy sheriff, told me that I had to quit. And I'm like, why? She said, because it's making you very angry, and I'm getting scared of who's coming through the door. And it's because I dealt with, very let's say not the most pleasant people during the daytime. A lot was criminals, drug dealers, murderers, and stuff. And she said, I can't handle you with this profession anymore. So after 2 years, man, I quit because she said, either you quit that job or I'm quitting this marriage. One of the two. You take a choice. So of course, I left that job alone. But it changes you. It does. That law enforcement will change you. It will absolutely change you, and not always for the good.
Wow.
And a lot of people I know in law enforcement, they're good. You see them out and they're happy and they're good and they're smiling. But a lot of them are jerks, man. Seriously, because I was a jerk. I was an absolute jerk.
Man,
Yeah,
that's
because it's that power. It goes to your head. It really do. You got that badge. I can do what I want. And then a person like suffering from, like I said, maybe have some underlying psychological issues themselves. You give them a badge,
it's over. It's
it's
over.
over, man. Yeah, yeah. And I can say half the people I've met that got badges shouldn't have one. Should not have
Well,
them.
here's the thing. Now, here's a theory I have. You can, people in the comments can tell me how they feel about this. I have a theory that decent men like you get out of the game when they realize it's messing their head up. The only ones who will stay in are the ones who are comfortable with what they're becoming or what other people who they trust around them tell them they're becoming.
Yeah, well, after a while, especially in law enforcement, you start hanging around people that other law enforcement people. Because you're more comfortable with them. You're more comfortable, and and you all have that, that underlying, maybe underlying issue. So so for you, it's normal because it's normal with Frank, it's normal with Susie, it's normal with Joe, but it's not normal of everybody else that's outside of that blue veil. You know what I'm saying? But for you, you hang out with people who you are most comfortable with. Like I was in the military, and
Right.
I know when I used to go to sessions, because I had to go to classes with others and talk about PTSD, what happened, how did the situation come about, and I was more comfortable being around other vets who may have been through some traumatic things. I'm definitely more comfortable around them. I'm definitely more free with them. I'm definitely more happier with them because we share a common bond. Outside of that, everybody else is the enemy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. It is. And so and that's why I go back to and say it again. That person who told you that he think all black people need some kind of therapy. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I still see somebody today, man. I mean, I've been in therapy 20 some odd years now.
Thank you for, you know what? And again, thank you for saying I'm in therapy. I know so many people that as I rapidly approach maturity and I become more of the curmudgeonly old uncle, a lot of people have started coming to me more and more for advice, and a lot of it is for things that I have to recognize. You need a trained therapist. I know, like my ego won't allow me. My ego wants me to believe that I can just listen and help you with a problem, but I know that what you need someone who's trained in how to listen to this.
Yeah, well,
And I've had
I got even better thing. A lot of therapists go to therapists.
But I guess it's like being law enforcement. you absorb a lot of other people's things, you know?
Yes. Mm-hmm. You do. You really do. But like I said, it's just to be able to vent. It's to be able to get a different perspective. It's to be able to be vulnerable with somebody that you trust, so that you don't, build things up to one day you just explode. So therapy is very good, and I know growing up, and I'm sure when you were growing up, in the black community, they used to be like, only people go see psychiatrists, crazy people. You're not crazy, man up. That's what you told in the black community. That's what you told when you are in law enforcement. Suck it up. That's what you told when you're in the military. Suck it up. Three of them. And I just said one day, hell
Wow.
no, I need some help. Being a sergeant major, hell, I knew I needed help. So, and like I said, I've been in therapy, over 20 years, and I still go. Now I have to do things more like we're doing now because of this coronavirus thing. But yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I tell people all the time, there's nothing wrong with getting some help to just help you, put that puzzle together or help you see through that maze. Ain't nothing wrong.
You know what? While we're talking, I'm going to scroll through this. Here are some things that I want to pull up. Some free telephone hotlines in the United States for counseling. If you're watching the replay of this, remember you can press pause if I'm scrolling too fast. But here's some of the numbers that people, and you can click on what state you're in. Here are some of the numbers that are available for people depending on what you're dealing with. There's somebody out there, and a lot of these, you know what? They'll just talk to you for free. And here's what I've even found. More and more of them are text-based because of the world we live in. You have a lot of them that say you can text us from anywhere in the world on your phone. Or for those of us who are expats, if you don't know how to set up an American phone number on your computer, contact me privately. I will show you how. There are so many ways you can do this and get somebody to know you're there. Who knows what they're doing, right? Who knows what they're doing? And that's something that's critical. And we need more people like you who say, hey, listen, I'm in counseling and here's what it's done for me, because whatever you're doing is working because you are living your best life out there, my friend. Whatever you're doing that gave you the mental floss to clean out those dark corners, I'm so happy for you because you deserve the happiness you're dealing with right now. Here are a few more.
Thank you.
But yeah, these are things that I don't think enough people talk about. We don't talk about the help that we need. I think that there's some, especially for men, especially for dare I use a loaded word, over masculinized black men who are supposed to be, apparently, we're all 7 feet tall, 400 pounds like the Incredible Hulk, bulletproof and in no need of help from the outside world, which gets a lot of people shot and killed.
Yeah, well, D.L. Hughley said the most dangerous place for black people is in a white person's. I'll let that sink in.
I need you to say it again.
D.L. Hughley said the most dangerous place for black people to live is in white people's mind.
Yeah. Because in their minds, for a lot of them, you're the ultimate boogeyman. And that kind of cracks you. I got one more page I'm going to put up. There we go. Feeling pressed, there's a text connect, text crisis hotline, 3 easy steps, boom. Anywhere in the USA, you can text from your computer. If you don't know how to text from a computer, let me know. I will get you there. 24/7 free for those in crisis, connecting people to train crisis. Wait, what is it? Train crisis counselors. Wow.
Well, I think you're going to need a lot more of those now with this situation going on and more people being isolated and their moves being restricted. Because I don't see this blowing over anytime for the next at least 3 or 4 months. I really don't. especially in the Matrix. Especially in the Matrix. I think DR
Well,
would be fine faster than the Matrix will. The Matrix, I call the USA.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people don't know how to deal with it.
Why do you call it the Matrix? Because on your channel it says tailor-made dreams, escaping the Matrix.
Because if you've ever watched the movie and they offer, here's the red pill, here's the blue pill. The red pill, you can see of it all. The blue pill, you just stay asleep. You just stay asleep and you think life is perfect and thing is good and people are not getting hurt. There's no conspiracy going on. Justice is perfect in America and everything. And that's all bullshit. The red pill wakes you up. The red pill tells you most of the things that you learned in school, that you and I learned in school, most of it was bullshit. And I can tell you, history, 75 to 80% of what you learn in history is all bullshit. And if you learn anything about our community in school, especially growing up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, like I grew up, that was all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you get to the point where, you think, when you travel, you hear that, oh, people are not accepting of black folks. You'll get treated worse there than you get treated in America.
And this blows my mind. As black people, when you travel the world, people find out that's the opposite is true. Like when someone says, and I'm gonna get political for a hot minute. And for those who are watching for the first time, this might be a good time to put in a little advertisement. I talk about three main things on this site. I talk about world travel in the Dominican Republic. I talk about social issues. This channel got popular because I have a lot of friends from all over the world. And what we do is we have these big roundtable discussions on all kinds of fun things, or not fun things. But I also talk about money. And that's my favorite subject. I talk about everything from debt, avoiding debt, cryptocurrency, investing. I draw on my life experience as a financial professional for many years. If what you see today isn't to your liking, I want you to subscribe anyway and share it anyway. Stay with me for a month. I'm going to cover something that you like to make it worth it. But what I was going to say is this is something a lot of people don't know. Get this. When you travel the world and you go to places where they say, I hate Americans, or you read, Americans are not welcome there, they're never talking about Native Indian Americans. They're never talking about Latino Americans, and they're never talking about Black Americans. But you aren't supposed to know that. Let's see. Oh, we got the mugshot freeze again. I guess his internet gives him a short period of time to come back out and come back on. He'll be back in a second. In the meantime, what I'll also show people what I do for a living. He's out of the game. He's totally retired. But I'll tell you one of the things that led me to my own financial independence was owning my own business and what I do. I do editing, copy editing, proofreading. I'll tell you right now, I've done more resume writing for people than anything else. I encourage everybody to check me out on LinkedIn. My name is YusefWateef Thornton. I'm the same guy everywhere. And when you go on, I want you to skip all that stuff. I want you to skip the resume even. I want you to go all the way down to the part where it says recommendations. Okay, recommendations is the part where you see what other people talk to me about and the references that they give me. They're the people who say Wateef is everything as advertised. Hire him, hire his company. I do everything from training people who do TED Talks to writing, rewriting, and editing documents. If it has to do with the English language, I'm your man. Let's see if he's back in the game with us yet. Let's see. Uh-oh. Whoop. Wait a second. All right, it's dark there. I hope we didn't get butt dialed. So how about this? Frestielli, the term red pill I heard a lot of people using for becoming Republican. No, that's horribly inaccurate, and we're gonna have to have a long conversation about that. I might even do a show on it because it's very inaccurate. That's definitely not true. You don't want to use that phrase. Let's see. And I'm also going to use this time, once again, tell everybody, while you're watching, remember, everybody here can be friends. I want everybody to go and subscribe to his channel. I'll tell you the same thing I would tell you for myself. Give it a month. Find some things interesting. He's done a lot of things, and he has a good time out there. You know, it might be the relief you need from what we're dealing with right now, and he doesn't know what I'm going to show you guys first. I don't want to talk about the girls in dresses first. We can talk about that a little later, and we will. We're going to get there. Eat your vegetables first. We are going to go all the way over here. Not Corona relationships, giving back, taking care of the babies. He threw up a little 10-minute video, and one of the things that he did is he works with sponsors. I don't even know the right word. There are a lot of people who don't have. And he goes out there and helps them. He buys food for people. He's bought food for homeless children. He's bought food for children in shelters. That's something that I find pretty noble. Not everybody can do that, by the way. You know, one of the benefits of he and I traveling the world, being an expat, is the US dollar goes a long way. One of the rewards you get if you can put yourself in a position financially to be pulling in anywhere from, depending on where you live, 500 to 1,000 US a month will facilitate a great lifestyle for you. Matter of fact, let me see. What's the currency in the Dominican Republic? Dominican Republic currency. Hold on a second. Let's find out what the currency is there. The Dominican peso is the DOP. So let's see. We're going to go 1 USD in DOP. Now, I wonder what the purchasing power is for the Dominican peso, because I am working in BRL in Brazil. Now, here's the thing. You can talk about currency exchanges, but we don't necessarily know purchasing power. I'm going to show you guys a website that they can give you a very good and accurate description of what it's like should you choose to be like me or this guy over here. Let's see. I'm going to give you a website called Numbeo. Some free lessons here. This is a very accurate website. For a lot of the countries that I've lived in, this website gives us a fairly accurate description of what it's like to compare countries. So if you go, let's say, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Sousa, did I spell that wrong? There it is. Sosua, Dominican Republic. Let's see. Okay. The difference, meal, inexpensive restaurant for 2 people here, it would, oh, come on, there. If we're looking in currency, let's call the currency USD. Okay. Oh, jeez, get there. So in Sao Paulo, $6 for an expensive meal. 4 there. For 2 people, $28.32. Okay. It's not that big of a, well, no, you know what? Let's go to the big one. Cost of living. Utilities, $52.62 US. Okay. Sports and leisure, fitness club. Okay, well, you know what? This is actually rent. That's actually comparable. Hey, you're back.
I'm back, brother.
What I was doing is I was showing them a little bit of cost of living differences between where you live and where I live.
Oh yeah. You know that the money for Brazil is going way up.
Oh yeah.
Is it 5-1 now? I think.
Yes, 5-1. But I'm looking at the cost of living differences because of the way the Brazilian real is being, it's comparable. We are almost on the same purchasing power.
Yes. Yes.
We are almost
Yes.
on the same purchasing power.
Yes. But I'm gonna tell you, but when you look at the goods that you can get in Brazil versus the good that you can get in DR, the quality is a whole lot better in Brazil than it is in Dominican Republic. A whole lot better.
What do you mean products? Do you mean like computers and phones?
I'm talking
Or are you
about
talking
anything.
about
I'm talking about anything from clothes. Mi amor, y otro ron, por favor. Doc, Barcelo Doc. I'm talking about anything from clothes. I'm talking about shoes. I'm talking about just regular goods that people purchase every day. And the food, the quality of food is a hell of a lot better. Don't get me wrong. I love my Dominican food, but Brazil beats DR hands down in food and the food quality. Hands down, hands down. And especially if you're a steak lover. If you're a steak lover, oh my God, Brazil, I mean, you can't get much better than you can't get much better than Brazil. So it's like I said, for goods and services, for food, you get a definite bigger bang for your buck than you do in Dominican Republic.
Wow.
Now I think housing is cheaper in DR than it is in Brazil, but you're the expert on that. I don't know.
Not right now, it's not, because the way the Brazilian real's value has changed, we are almost comparable.
Really?
Crazy, right? Yep.
I might have to come and spend at least 6 months in Brazil.
Hey,
Because
listen,
I'm thinking about doing back and forth thing.
now's the time. I'm telling you.
Well, can't nobody travel now?
Oh.
Yeah, the problem is nobody can travel.
Yeah. There's always that.
Yeah, a little thing called Corona.
Well, one of the things I was doing while you were gone, I didn't want to make you blush and turn purple while you were away, is one of the things I told them was about, and this is a transition. This is a bridge, people. I'm setting you up for the fall, giving back and taking care of the baby.
Oh,
I want you
to
tell them about what you did that day and what you do.
Well, I got involved with this orphanage in Sosua back in 2017 when I was coming down here, and then it started out with me just wanting to like bring some food, drop some things off, and do something nice and keep going. And the side of you, that tells you need to do more. So I said, well, let me do a little bit more. So I did a little bit more. And then it just got to the point where I just said, man, let me adopt this orphanage, because I wanted to make sure that, because if you look at these kids, let me put it like this is even better. These children have adults literally walking in and out of their lives their entire life growing up, because the workers are transit, the staff is transit, the school, the teachers, because everything is transit in Dominican Republic. A lot of stuff is. And I didn't want to be a part of another adult walking in and out of these children's lives. So it's been since 2017 since I've been with the orphanage, and we've been doing everything from repairs, maintenance on the buildings, because there's 2 buildings on that particular property, houses girls and houses boys. They're Dominican as well as Haitian children, which is another reason I got involved with this particular orphanage, because some orphanages just take care of Dominican children and not Haitian children. But this is a private orphanage, so it accepts Haitian children as well as Dominican children. And like I said, I didn't want to be another person that walked in and out of these children's lives. So after a while, it just became a habit just to keep going up there, seeing how they're doing. And and a few years back, 6 years ago, I lost my daughter. And I had, you have a big hole in your heart anytime you lose a child. And those kids just started filling up that some of that hole, some of that void, because after all the time going up there since 2017, most of them know my name, ones that's been there for a minute. And when you see all these little kids running at you saying, Rusty, 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 hugging and kissing on you, man, it just brings you so much joy. So like I said, we got involved doing a lot of maintenance. At one point they had, the plumbing was so bad, they had literally water coming through the light fixture, literally coming through the light fixture. And I'm trying to tell the lady, hey, don't put a bulb and don't cut on this. Don't, as a matter of fact, don't use this switch, because I put some tape over it. She took it out. I'm like, no, don't do that. I said, because if somebody hit this switch and you follow that water that goes up to that shower, you electrocute somebody. So we started doing a lot of maintenance. We started bringing a lot of food, clothes, paint, any and everything they need. I started bringing a lot of brothers that come down to Dominican Republic up to the orphanage so that they can take part in this and so that they can feel that love. And I mean, and I don't have to drag the brothers up there screaming and kicking and everything. They literally want to come. I started a GoFundMe page back in 2018, and the goal was for $5,000. And literally, we raised the $5,000, and that same day, believe it or not. So I just kept the GoFundMe page going, so everybody see how, so if anybody want to donate, they can see who donated from day one, how much money we received from day one up to now, and every month. So now it's like every month we take the kids food, or if their kids need screens on the doors, on the windows, which they did. Because one time I walked in the kitchen, man, it's like 40 flies just all over the food, all over the kit, all over everywhere, man. So I said, no, it's just simple thing as putting in screens just for as a sanitation and just as, as a cleanliness thing. And it's just, like I said, it's just been a blessing to be involved with the kids. So the other day I went out to get the kids some food. And I said, well, because I know a lot of people haven't seen me involved with the orphanage a lot. Because I had stopped doing videos for quite a while. And I used to throw videos up of the orphanage with me and the kids. Well, not the kids, because they don't want the kids on the display, over the internet. Oh, no, so I've been basically showing, maybe some of the workers, like when we went and brought all the kids back to school clothes. And that was like $2,300, but well worth it. Just so we've been involved, man, just doing everything with the kids, man. And I'm trying to make sure that the kids have as much fun as any other normal kid, taking them to Fun World, taking them to Ocean World. That's like the Disney of down here. So, man, it's just been a blessing. It's been a little bit of work. And I appreciate all the guys who've been chipping in and sending donations to help, man. So every month we're doing something every month with those kids, whether we're buying food, whether we're buying a freezer, whether we cementing the bottom of the building to keep the roads out. I mean, man, like I said, I could go on and on of the things that we've done with the children and to help out with the maintenance of the building and even the workers. But the biggest blessing comes from those kids, man. So I get so much love back from them, man. I just cannot see walking away. You know what I'm saying? Now they've become my babies. So, and that's how I treat them. So, I would take my kids to Ocean World. I would take my kids to Fun City. So why can't I take them?
Well, I say to you clearly, with love and respect, my condolences on dealing with that. With your daughter.
I can't hear you, brother.
I said my condolences on the loss of your daughter.
Hello?
I said, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Man, I'm having all kind of issues.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Mi amor, the blanco es. Escucha arriba, the plugin.
El cargador.
Sí, See. Hold on, brother. Hold on.
Well, here's something. Okay.
Can you hear me? Damn.
Yeah. I'm going to read something. This orphanage receives no funding from the government. This specific orphanage takes Haitian children and Dominican children. Many orphanages only take children of Dominican background. Casamina Felices shelters feed and clothe 26 abandoned and abused. I am in the Dominican Republic quite often. I go there every chance I get to assist. My dream is to give them sustainable, ongoing assistance in the future. However, I will start with the most immediate needs now. Look at that. Wow, $105. That's noble.
Hello? Hello?
We hear you.
Shit.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you. All right, man, look, I apologize for all the technical issues going on tonight, but I cannot hear any word you say, so hold on, let me try. All right. I can't hear you. I might have to try to go back out, man. I apologize. But since this curfew cut down, occupation, whatever you want to call the lockdown, man, the internet and everything has just been crazy here in Dominican Republic, which is probably why I need to go to Brazil too. Only thing can really keep me here now are my babies. So I'm gonna try to come out, man, and come on back in, man. I apologize. I do apologize. I apologize to the audience most of all.
Let's see. There was one more screen that I was going to show you guys. Let's see. Oh, you know something he's not going to show you? Let me show you guys something he's not going to show you because he's not that kind of guy. He has his own Patreon. $3 to say hello, $5 shout out a presidential beer when you meet, $10 shout out to you and your business, and $2 presidentials on when we meet, 2 beers, and he got King of the Hill, big thanks, 25 direct, unlimited contact to assist you setting up your escape from the Matrix. Got a lot of stuff for the 25. Don't forget that's his personal one. He's not going to show you that because he's not here to advertise for himself. I'm going to do the advertising for him on that one. You know, and as a matter of fact, hold on. While we're stepping out of the let's see, there we go. While we're stepping out of the modesty zone, because I'm not a very modest person. For those of you who follow me on Patreon, you already know this, but less than a month ago, I set up a Patreon account, and I set up quite a few things. Arrogance level, cutthroat, and arcane level. They all come with some very detailed descriptions of what I do. And that's been growing slowly, a few a day. I want everybody to make sure you take a look. I've got 6 out of my first 12, which is my goal. And I've got 6 videos up so far, 1 link. We did one today. The reason you can't see it is because it's private. But outlaw downloads, I would definitely get kicked off YouTube for this. We're going into how I use every online resource to download and pirate movies, games to get us through the quarantine. You can't see the rest of that without, you know. Now this you can see. This is something I posted on YouTube that I'm going to delve into in minute detail specifically for my Patreon people tomorrow. I was putting a few commercials on for us.
Yeah, man, I apologize to you and the audience, brother. I don't know what's going on tonight, man. For some reason they don't want us to talk. Maybe too much truth is coming out.
It's a conspiracy. Well, let's do this for the people who've been watching. Let's do this. Why don't we get back to giving them some candy? Let's show these people some of the lighthearted, more fun things that we talk about and that you talked about. This is where Let's see. This is where the nice guy goes away, right?
You talking about my unfiltered videos, man?
Oh, let's do this. I'm gonna put it on your page and I'm gonna tell everybody oh look, we got people, hold on. We got people clapping saying this is what she's been waiting for, I'm guessing.
Yes, sometimes I may have a little toast, little drink, and I get on my YouTube page and I just kind of go unfiltered.
Yeah. And Prince Kelly said the internet is kind of slowing down for everybody. Yeah. So what I want to go to, let's do this first. I'm gonna go, where am I? Here. If I type into your page, if I type in Carnival.
Oh yes, Carnival is always nice in Dominican Republic, man. Always nice.
Well, in Brazil is considered the standard. One of the things I talk about is I don't go to Carnival anymore. I go to the ensayos, to the tea parties. But Carnival is one of those things that everybody should do once in Brazil.
Yes.
How dare the Dominican Republic versus Brazil? Who did you have talking about this? The Carnival differences.
I had a friend of mine that been to both. I have not been to Brazil Carnival. I've been to the Carnival in Dominican Republic. So a friend of mine, they gave me their view on what was happening. But I mean, as soon as you go to YouTube and you pull up Carnival in Brazil, man, let me tell you something. Brazil went hands down. There is no comparison to Carnival in Brazil and Carnival in Dominican Republic. There's no comparison, none. And I haven't even been to the one in Brazil, but I know that just from watching videos.
Yeah, Brazil Carnival is. I'm trying to think of a word to describe the level of chaos, of madness.
I got a word from Bo Rakes. You want to know what the word is?
Uh-oh.
Fuckery.
But see,
the level of fuckery.
It depends on the kind of party you're showing up for. It depends.
I didn't know I didn't know the different kinds of carnival in Brazil. I thought they all was pretty much on that high standard.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They are, but you can go to carnivals and carnival events that are not places that you couldn't take. Like, there are places in Brazil where you can go to a carnival event and you don't feel jammed by the crowd. Not to be clear, I want everybody to go to carnival in Rio de Janeiro once. I want everybody to go to carnival and have a wild time. Do it once. Do it with some friends, right? Yes. Go with some people who know what they're doing. But at the same time, no, Shelly, it was not nicer than Brazil. And apparently, Shelly is a fan of Bo Rakes.
Bo's a good guy. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you a story about me and Bo. We got so drunk one night, man. We were in the parking lot and we were asking each other, man, you sure you can drive? I said, hell yeah, you sure you can drive? You sure you can drive? You drunk? I mean, we both lit like hell, asking each other, could we drive? Neither one of us been driving. But we did this in the parking lot for a good 10 minutes, man. And it's like when we was in this place, we was in Atlanta at the time, the waitress, for some reason, man, kept just overly pouring our drinks. And that night, we were actually drinking Hennessy all night. And, man, they just kept over pouring. I mean, we asked for a shot of Hennessy, and they would give us half a glass. And, man, I thought the girl was sweet on Bo Rakes or something. Bo said, I thought she was sweet on you. I was like, brother, I don't. And it was a crazy night, but that is really good brother. That's a really solid brother. I love Bo because he's unfiltered. He says what's on his mind. He tells it like it is. You pretty much know Bo. He will tell you exactly. If he don't like you, he just straight up tell you, I don't like you. Ain't no sense of us hanging out together. And if he like you, then you good. You like family, man. But that's a really, really good dude. You would like Bo. You and him would have a great time.
Well, here's my thing. First of all, at the end of that story, please tell me y'all did not drive home drunk. Please.
I would love to tell you that.
That wouldn't be the truth, would it?
I would love to tell you that. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay, so what happens if now hold on? There's a word. Now I consider myself a man that's good with words.
Okay.
Okay. I consider myself a man who knows the definition of a fair few words. But what if I type in mango and search? What am I gonna pop up with?
Mango. Mango is a term I stole from this brother who calls himself the Cuban Cigar on YouTube. He referred to mangoes as chicas. Chicas is Dominican women. So he calls them mangoes, and I thought that was a better word than chica. You know what I'm saying? Even though chica is not a bad word, it's actually in the Spanish vocabulary. But mango is really cool. It's especially when you are describing a certain incident or you're talking about a certain foreplay. Mango is a very good word. So it's just like the Matrix. I took the Matrix. I stole that word from brother Charles Tyler, rest in peace, who like you, Charles loved Brazil. So when I found out that you lived in Brazil, because that was Charles' ultimate dream, and he achieved it. Unfortunately, when he got there, he died shortly after moving there. But I stole that word from brother Charles Tyler. So if I steal a word from somebody, a vernacular, I don't mind giving them the credit. I really don't. So I stole the Matrix from brother Charles Tyler, and I stole mango from the Cuban Cigar.
Well, I had heard the name Charles Tyler. I really don't wish an early death on anyone, but something I had to deal with my first few months here, because I'm a writer, for those of you who don't know. I got approached by a lot of magazines, online and offline, that said, we want to hire you to write for us. I've done that. Writing and regular, no problem. But people would tell me about what Charles Tyler did and content like that. And as I did more research, I found out I can't co-sign any of what he was doing, because the reality of living here, and this is where I've had a few phone calls with a few people that knew him. And, we as men had looked each other in the eye and disagreed. He was selling a lot of people, particularly a lot of men, a handful of bullshit about what they were walking into. Listen, I want to be clear. I have no problem with people who want to go into prostitution. I have no problem with women who want to sell it, men who want to buy it. I don't care about that. What I do care about is people selling this weird myth that you can be a loser at home, go to the Brazil or Dominican Republic and find a woman who will love you the same way. Now, you can find prostitution everywhere. If you want to go to another place and experience those women, good. But you find people that were selling this package and come here, you're going to meet some fun girls, not realizing those are simply prepaid for hippos.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And this is my take from what Brother Charles Tyler was telling me. Brother Charles Tyler, for me, was telling and selling people, black men specifically, that you have more options than you think. You have more options than you know. He was trying to tell brothers the power of black men owning and having a blue passport, a blue American passport, and that you can come to Brazil and live your best life. You can come to Brazil and you can find love. You could come to Brazil, or you could wild out. You could wild out and a bunch of mangoes treat you like you a rock star. Those options are open to you. But he never, from my take, never sold that one package. Now, he let them know that this is it. Yeah, you could come down here, some of the most beautiful women on earth, which Brazilian women are. Of course, with me, I always say you pay for sex. I don't care. Every man pays for sex. Matter of fact, when I got divorced, I wrote the biggest check to my ex-wife for $250,000 for some sex that I will never touch again. Every man pays for sex. Some don't mind paying direct. Some men pay through marriage. Some men pay, but either way, you pay. So, now, Brother Charles, go ahead, sir.
I would go even farther. I would say you're right, but you're more right than you know. When we say pay for sex, one of the things that I was taught as a very young man that kind of helped me go through is there are many ways that you can pay for sex. One of them could be money. One of them could be reputation. But what you find is often those who pay the best price are men who simply create a version of themselves and live up to a standard that allows women to look at them and say, I want to be with that man, and they don't have to come out of their pocket. It's a very difficult and fine line, and I respect and understand that. I did a video on it, how to pay for sex. You know, it's an awkward conversation, but what I find is there's a bit of dishonesty that I keep finding with the image. And, you know, I lived in Japan for years. I lived in China for years. I lived in Malaysia, Singapore. Interestingly enough, the only country where nobody sells sex packages is when I lived in the UK and London. Because, man, those are not some pretty women in the UK. I know somebody don't fight me on that one. They're going to be ready to punch me in the face. But let me tell you something. Have you ever watched the most beautiful woman in the world awards? And they say, oh, this woman is from Britain. No, she's not. She's a Nigerian woman who lives in Britain, or she's a Pakistani woman who lives in Britain. Yeah. But you don't find British women.
No.
Nobody's fantasizing about that.
No. They're not. I've been all over the world too. They are not. Now, but when you go into more Western, like when I was in the military, when I was in the Navy, we'd hit I remember the first time I went into Portsmouth, England. That's where we docked at. And there was literally British women on the dock waiting to have sex with brothers. When I say, I mean literally, I mean like I left the ship, like an hour later, I'm having sex with a chick, don't even know her name.
That sounds so safe. That sounds totally safe.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, you like, I mean, just, and then, I mean, the girl even gave me the keys to her apartment while she was going away for 3 days. I knew her one day. And she said, listen, how long you going to be in port? I said, I'll be in port for about 6 days. She said, well, listen, I got to go away, but here's the key to my place. And sent her cousin over there to smash with me while she was away. So just to make sure that I would be there when she got back.
Now, let me bring some balance to the force. I'm glad that turned into a great story for you. But to the people watching, especially the young men, I want to tell you that's also a good way to get robbed or kidnapped. That's a good way to wake up inside a brown paper bag somewhere with a ransom note, you know, with one of your fingers attached to it being mailed to your family.
Well, we're talking late 80s right now. We're talking late 80s. And at that time, I was a very handsome gentleman. I wasn't old, fat, you know, and out of shape.
Yeah, but I have seen so many people get off a boat with that idea that I'm going to live. Because here's the thing, would you say that, you know, our life experiences are possible but not common? Because I would not recommend that level of trust for any man that just gets off a boat.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, man, so experiences like that, when you in the military, are so common to it's ridiculous. I'm going to tell you, before I joined the military, I was 23 before I went into the Navy. And I used to have a couple of friends who were in the Army, Navy, one in the Marines. And they used to tell me these wild stories. And I'm like, man, bullshit. Boy, get out of here. That stuff don't happen. When I went into the military, all that stuff happened and more. I mean, I'm going to tell you, man, when you're in the military and you pull in some of these ports, you have some of the wildest sexual experiences of your life. So when I got to Brazil, when I got to Dominican Republic, when I go to other places where it's like the wild, wild west for sex, I was used to it. I brought my cousin to Sosua 2 years ago, right? The guy is 6'6", pretty boy. We used to always call him pretty boy. Pretty boy, 6'6", 280 pounds. I took this guy in one bar, right? This girl walked up to him, started massaging his genitals, asked him for a beer, and he turned into a 5-year-old child. I mean, he ran away. I had to go to the bathroom to get him. Now I'm talking this, you know, my cousin is like I said, 6'5", 6'6", 280 pounds. I'm like, yo, what's up with you, man? He said, yo, you see what that girl did? I said, yeah, so what? He said, what are you talking about? He said, and then when I opened the door, the lady, she grabbed me there too. And I'm like, so what? What are you talking? He says, man, look, this for him, it was overwhelming. It was over, and this 2 years ago. He just felt like overwhelmed with these chicks keep grabbing on. Because like I said, the guy is 6'5", 6'6", full of tattoos, you know, pretty boy. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of cats can't handle it. But the military, you pull into them ports. I remember when I went into Panama. Oh my God. You talking about a cesspool back there in the 80s? Oh my God, man. So man, I'm telling you, those stories that people tell you in the military about their sexual wives, they're real. I found out they are absolutely. I could go on and tell you story after story after story, but man, I'm telling you, that stuff is real.
Well, here's what my father told me about when he was in the military. He said he'll never forget when he was a young man, had been drafted into the military against his will with his older brother. Mm-hmm. Said the first thing they told him, because he was Navy, was right before they got off the ship, they said, listen, I want you to write a letter to your mom and your dad, say that in service to your country, there may have been a situation where you cannot come home. You will write to them as often as possible, and that you still love them. And they said, well, wait a minute, we thought we were going on recreational holiday time. Said, well, you are. But if you get off this ship and do something stupid and contract something, we may not be able to let you come back to the United States, depending on what it is. Now, this is 1960-something, 50, wow. 60, and he said they were dead serious. That was enough to make sure my father said, not him. You know, he thinks out of 1,000 stories, 999 of them are going to turn out fine. But you don't want to roll the dice getting off a boat with some girls who are just looking for a sailor. And that's just, I mean, it's a lot of kids that was knocking on doors in the 80s.
Hey, back then we say, listen, you go to sick bay, you take a shot in the ass, a couple of pills, and you keep on rolling.
Whew, she said, do those girls want citizenship in the U.S.? I would imagine some of them do. And I tell people all the time, if you're with a woman in another country and she wants citizenship in your country, there's nothing wrong with that. What does she bring to the table? If she's got something to offer you, yes. You know, even just sex and sandwiches, but if she's got something, you know, if you're putting your junk into a girl that has her shit together, yeah, okay, why not? How's that a bad deal? How's that not fair trade? But you get a lot of people that think, oh, I think I can get all this for free and not offer her anything in the future and in return. Why not?
Well, this is the thing, too. This is what I don't understand. Like, and I've talked to sisters because I have, believe it or not, I have a lot of really good relationships with Black females, even though some people wouldn't believe it. And they like, Russell, well, all that woman wants you for is your money or to get a green card. I said, okay, but most of the women I date in America, guess what they want? My money. Every woman wants your money. So what's the problem? Even women with money want your money. I've dated 2 millionaires in my life, 2 millionaires. And even they wanted my money. And I'm like, well, hell, you know, I'm in the 6 figures, you well in the 7 figures. What the hell money you want of mine? But check this out. Even with them was living beyond their freaking means. Way beyond their freaking means. I met a chick who made $500,000 a year. And she's living paycheck to paycheck in a fucking mansion. Paycheck to paycheck. I mean, she got like 20 credit cards with freaking balances of 20,000, 15,000, 30,000. I mean, who the hell does that kind of shit? So I was like, man, so listen, when women say all those women want is your money and the green card, so what? I had to give my ex-wife $250,000 in cash and property before I left the marriage. So if a woman wants a green card and my money, who cares? As long as, like you said, she has something to bring to the table. As long as she got something to bring to the table, I don't care. When I being an ex-vet, I got a lot of benefits. I don't want to just die with those benefits. I don't mind leaving them to somebody. I don't. So I got no issue with it. You know, all I need to know, like I tell anybody in any game, just tell me the rules. I can play the game. That's all I need to know. So with women, the rules is I want your money. Okay, fine. Here's my rule. What do you bring to the table? You bring what I like to the table? No problem. I gotta spend my money on something. So why not spend it on something young and beautiful? That's my rule.
That's a very I think our experiences have been a little bit different, but that's a very interesting insight.
I'm sure they have, brother. But listen, but the thing is, it's not life is not a one size fits all. Retirement is not a one size fits all. You being with your lady ain't a one size fit. You may be with you're married. You with the lady that you love. That's perfect for you. I got a beautiful Venezuelan girlfriend upstairs in the bedroom. You know, I may tell, and I have told her, look, I like other women. You know, now you can be in a relationship, but I have to have a relationship with somebody else. Now you can stay in this relationship or you can leave. I don't lie to women. I tell them this is it. All right, this is it. So now with her, she's like, well, I don't, as long as you respect me, meaning she don't want to see me with the other women, but she knows I sleep around. I've dated one woman who I met in Brazil who loved women. So me and her would sleep with other women together. Now I like that little situation a little better because you didn't have to come up with any excuses for anything. So like I said, whatever works for that particular person, I'm cool with. Life is not a one size fits all. It's not a dress rehearsal. You only go through life once. So if you miss the boat, regretting half of the shit that you've done, that's your problem. I want to go. When I die, they will say, Russell, did you have any regrets? Yeah, I didn't have longer to live. That's the only regret I want. And
exactly.
I'm at the age and stage in my life. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what your opinion is of me. What you think about me is of no importance. I could care less.
Amen. But here's the thing. I don't know if that's something you develop later, but I can tell you that for me, that was my key to success early. I just realized nobody's going to be happy if I'm just winning all the time. I'm just going to have to get out there and do it.
Yeah, but let me ask you, and I don't want to put you on the spot. How old are you? You say
42 and a half.
42 and a half. Now, if you've learned the secret of not caring what people think about you at 42 and a half, brother, let me tell you something. You are 7.5 years ahead of the game, because most people don't even realize it until they're 50. So they spend most of their 20s, 30s, and 40s trying to please people who don't care about them. And guess what? Hoping that they fail. So, brother, if you realize that at 42 and a half, you're already ahead of the game. Congratulations.
Thank you. That book I put up, The Ethical Slut's a very good book. If anybody wants a copy, let me know. Shelly said, young and beautiful. And Dollar Will said, I agree with Taylor Made Dreams, fair trade ain't a robbery expectation. I'm for honesty. Yeah. Wow. We have to do this. I think we covered a lot more ground than I thought we would, man. That was
we didn't even talk about the channel much. But let me say this real quick.
Well, wait a minute. No, real quick. Let's go back. This is the internet. Tell us more about the channel.
Well, look, the channel is basically a channel where I give information. All right, it's about content. So if you want to, because a lot of people don't even know that they can have a bank account overseas. So I introduce people to setting up a bank account overseas. You should have an overseas bank account. Hell, I should have had an overseas bank account when I was married. But you can have an overseas bank account. You can get a residency and not live in Dominican Republic or Panama for that fact, and still have a residency in those countries. So my channel is just about information, things that you can do. What my dream is to set up a Black Wall Street overseas. That is my ultimate dream. But I'm trying to baby feed. Huh?
Let's talk about that when we're offline. Maybe I have some resources.
Definitely.
Oh,
We can
don't
talk
watch
about
that.
that
By the way, people, don't watch these videos.
Yeah, the unfiltered. If
Don't
you
watch
don't like a lot
unfiltered.
of if you don't like a lot of cussing, that those two ain't for you. I was very tipsy that day. They're not for you. They not for you. But if you want to have a good laugh, but there are some good information about there. There's some stock tips in there. There's a little bit of everything, because it was unfiltered. So there was no script. It was just here we go. So, but if your ears are sensitive, those two you appreciate that, bro. But the channel, like I said, is basically about content, information, letting brothers know that you have more opportunities than you even imagine. Let them know that some of the things that you can do overseas that you cannot do in the matrix. Like I could set up a barbershop and put a bar in that barbershop and don't have to worry about getting permits in Dominican Republic. As a matter of fact, somebody did. They got a nice barbershop, got somebody that do facial, but they got a bar. They make more money on the bar than they do in the barbershop. But I mean, these are some of the things like, if you go to try to do that in America, it'd be like, hold on, you want a bar in the barbershop? No, you gotta have $100,000 for a liquor license, and you have to have this for permit. We got to make sure it's so many feet apart so that hair don't fly 200 feet and fly to somebody's drink. But man, so overseas offers you more freedom than you can possibly imagine. And like I said, I'm unapologetically black. That doesn't mean that I don't like white people, and I've told people that it's just that I'm proud to be black. Like people are proud to be Italian, Polish, or Jewish, or whatever, and you should be. But I'm unapologetically black, so most of my content is leaning and trying to open the eyes up of black men specifically to saying, hey, listen, you got more choices than all the bullshit that they told you in the Matrix. Because guess what? Half of what they told you is all bullshit. Get your money together. I talk to people about investing, getting their money together, even trying to invest overseas. I never thought I could have a vacation property. Never thought. I grew up in Brooklyn. Sometime I was homeless. And now, before I moved over here, man, I had a vacation property. I bought a condo for $56,500, and I own it. Meaning that the government, meaning that they're not charging me tax on it. So, like in the government, you can own your property. I have properties in America, but let me miss a couple of tax payments, and guess what they do? They seize my property. Overseas, no. Once you buy it, it's yours. You own it. Period.
I can't scroll past this one heading.
What's the heading?
Now, does your advice about what to do if she told you she was pregnant involve a staircase or anything like that?
Oh well, this one's funny actually, because you got girls, because guys come down here and go raw,
is oh. I'm not saying. Listen, here's the reality. You gotta. In any case, go ahead.
That's a whole nother subject. So if she tell you she's pregnant, I tell guys this is what you do. So because I've been told, hey, I'm pregnant. Okay, well, you get no money until the baby's born and I get a test. Because I promise you, 9 out of 10 times, it's not yours. It's never yours. There's only one guy who I went through this whole thing with out of 6 or 7 guys that it was actually his. And nothing wrong with that. But I tell guys, if you ever find yourself in that situation, don't be sending this chica, this mango, $500, $600, $700 a month, and then you find out that you just been spending money on somebody else's kid. I mean, unless that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do, ain't no problem with it. But if you want to do it smartly, just like you do in the States, hey, all right, fine, you're pregnant. I'm happy. We had a baby, we do the test, and if it's mine, I change your life, because most times if a cat has a child here, he's gonna take care of her. You don't have to worry about all this. I want half of your pay, like child support in the States. But you know, for $200-300, man, you could get her into a pretty nice place, you know, a very decent place for that little bit of money. I mean, and give the child a very good upcome, a very good upbringing. So, you know, I tell cats, if you're in that situation, give me a call. Let me help you out.
Can we talk about something that you posted about here, and you kind of gave me a little bit of an insight about protest over the election? Don't move to Sasua.
Yeah, there was in Sasua, there was the ex-mayor who I forgot her name now, but she, if you ever wanted to learn how to ruin a city, screw up tourism, then she wrote the absolute book. Sasua it was a very thriving community. I mean, Sasua, when I first came to Sasua, this is the way I describe it. Sasua was somewhere between heaven and paradise. Somewhere in between. Heaven and paradise. And when I first came down there, I'm gonna tell you, I got there on a Wednesday. Friday, I went and I put down $500 on a condo that I didn't even know how I was gonna pay for the condo. That's how much love I was with that place. Now, other people thought I was a little bit insane, but when you land between heaven and somewhere in paradise, brother, you get creative. So, and Sue was like that for years until this one mayor got elected, man, and she just started just ruining every. I mean, she closed most establishments that were frequented by African Americans, which made it seem like a racial thing. And I mean, millions, because even after that video, I put up a video. Sasua gave away millions of dollars because a lot of brothers that used to go to Sasua start going to Colombia, start going to Brazil and other places, you know, and where, because if you figure this, if you got, let's say 7 planes coming in there, right? 7 planes full of brothers. When I used to come down there, I thought I was on Soul Plane. I really did. I never seen so many black people, black men on one plane in my freaking life. And let's say the average guy got anywhere between $2,500 and $3,000 in his pocket. Some maybe had more. And they all leaving that money in one city. And this is happening on a daily basis. So we're talking about millions of dollars. How do you screw that up? But she did. So this other guy that was running for office, and matter of fact, he was one of the club owners, Willie. When the elections came around, they had what they call some irregularities. What happened was you would vote for one person, but the other person would come up on your ticket. And so this happened for 3 hours, and then they shut down the election. And man, Dominican Republic, throughout the Dominican Republic, they went freaking crazy. Not just for this one city, but it was happening basically all throughout the Dominican Republic because it was parties. The PRM party was basically trying to, I guess, you know, like I said, got to word things carefully. Let's just say they had some irregularities with the voting where you picking one party and the other party would show up. So they basically shut down the election. Now they had the election over again a month later. And of course, the other party won, which is really cool. I think Sasua is going to bounce back. However, now that this coronavirus situation came in, and we're talking about a city that was already suffering for, like, let's say 3 or 4 months, and now you add another 4 to 6 months on top of that 4 months, man. I mean, literally just gave away millions of dollars and screwed up tourism in one city. I mean, how do you screw that up? How do you screw up a well-oiled machine? It's like coming to a job and somebody say, listen, hey, this job, it makes millions and millions of dollars. All you got to do is watch it, and you screw it up. And that's what happened. And the people protested because people was out of jobs. There was no money. There was no money coming in. It looked like a ghost town. It went from a party happening city to a ghost town, literally.
Now, here's my question. That combined with with what's happening now, how do you feel like the city, not just the country, but the city where you are, how are you dealing with it?
Me, I'm dealing with it. I mean, I personally, I'm not having any issues with it. One, I was in the Navy. Look, I was on a ship for 6 months and we couldn't go nowhere. So telling me that I have to be in by 5 o'clock. I'm fortunate enough to have a pretty nice place here in Puerto Plata because I have a house that I rent out in Puerto Plata, but I'll have a condo in Sosua. So I'm fortunate enough. I got a pool. I got plenty of yard space. I'm behind a gated community. So I mean, I'm good. I got plenty of food. Got plenty of everything. But now let me say this, because I don't want people to be mistaken. See, a lot of times, and we talked about this earlier, you see the blessings of how somebody's living, but you don't see the work that they put in. You don't see all the 18 hours, all the travail, all the taking bull crap from people that you absolutely couldn't stand. So after putting up with all that, after going through that travail, after working my fingers to the bone, I got to a point where I'm financially free. So I'm in a position now where riding this out, man, this ain't crap to me. Now, other people may be going crazy, even in Puerto Plata here, poquito mi amor, gracias. Talk to my girlfriend. Where money is very stagnant right now. There's not a money, because a lot of people make money on the street day to day. But you can't get out there and make no money because guess what? There's no tourists. And they have what they call high season and low season. During high season was flat because of that mayor and her administration ruining the damn city. So now we are into low season, and now we got this coronavirus. So if you were suffering, making money, you are really suffering now. Now, my biggest thing is, of course, is the kids. I've made a couple of food runs because I got to make sure my babies are taken care of. But economically, it is really, really putting a big dent, not just in certain cities, but throughout the Dominican Republic as a country, because Dominican Republic, gracias, mi amor. Dominican Republic, it thrives on tourism. That's their biggest economic engine, is tourism. And right now there is no tourism. There's none. And for the foreseeable at least 6 or 7 weeks, there will not be none. Now, this is what I tell people, because unfortunately, during times like this, hogs get fed, pigs get slaughtered. This is a good economic opportunity. One, invest in stock. Two, look at some properties. Three, where you may have been looking at some land that may have cost you 35 grand, 5,000 square feet. Now that 35 turns into 15, 20. So take advantage of this opportunity. Yes, this is the time to exploit the situation. Now, I'm not trying to sound cold-hearted, but I try to tell my people that we have to start thinking where we have to stop saying, we don't want to take advantage of the situation, because no, this is where we get taken advantage of. So we could either be the people that get taken advantage of, or we get to be the people that exploit the situation. I personally rather be a person who exploits the situation and thrive. I know I said a whole lot. Sorry about that.
No, hey, listen, that's what we're here for. I can't tell you how many personal messages I've been getting while we're talking. People saying, I love this guy. I subscribe to his channel. I'm going to his channel.
Well,
how come you don't have him? I want him to be on some of your group chats. I mean,
yeah, but this is the time. Listen, I plan on not making anything less than $5,000 to $7,000 just on my stock. Now, of course, I'm looking for more gains, because I started investing heavily. But every black person should, at least after this whole corona thing is over, should be at least $5,000 to $7,000 richer, if not more. And you want to be in the more category, but I know some people are conservative.
But now we're
this is the time.
we're getting into a very touchy subject, because to assume that it would have to be someone like you or I who understands investing to jump in. Because when people have sent me messages and called me, and people know I'm in the cryptocurrency, and I've told people, hey, this is how I get into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, I've been doing this for many years. They say, what should I buy? And they get angry at me when I tell them, I can't tell you to buy anything. I think now is the time to start learning, right? You can start learning right now.
Right.
I'm not here to tell everybody they should just jump in.
And guess what? You can buy it on apps like Stash, or you can buy it right on Cash App. Cash App, you can buy cryptocurrency and stocks on Cash App. How easy is that? How easy is that?
Do you have any books you'd recommend?
Yes. Read the biography of Malcolm X, number 1.
No, I meant about money.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my favorite book. Okay, about money. Robert Kiyosaki, Think and Grow Rich, and Dennis Kimbro. Dennis Kimbro rewrote the book of Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. I say read Napoleon Hill and then read Dennis Kimbro's book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, on top of that.
I have that book. If anybody wants a copy, let me know. I got Think and Grow Rich. I can give you a copy, no problem.
Yes.
I'm gonna actually give a couple of books here. I'm gonna say Think and Grow Rich. One place I tell people, a book that is only 72 pages that I want you to read. I say read it once a year. How about that? Read it once a year. Richest Man in Babylon.
Yes. Excellent book. Yes. Excellent.
Now here's something interesting, right? You saw that I had Think and Grow Rich on tap to show people. Richest Man in Babylon. Why is it we find over and over again that men who are successful in certain things aren't reinventing the wheel? They take information that we understand already, and we just keep doing it over and over again. I mean, here's the thing: it's awkward because everybody wants to know if there's some way to make a big win. I had a dear friend talk to me earlier today about making a big score during this economic upheaval, and I sat down and had to look him in the eye. I said, "Dear brother, I don't have any big wins in my life. I've never had a big win professionally. I've never had a big win personally. I've never had a big win with money. Now, what I do have is incrementally all the time, I'm making 1 or 2 points. I'm inching 1 or 2 points ahead on every small investment I have. I'm inching 1 or 2 points all the time. I'm just trying to get an extra rep at the gym. I don't have any big wins."
Yeah, but this is the thing. All you got to do is learn what compound interest is, how compound interest works. If you, as an adult, cannot explain compound interest, then something is seriously wrong, and you need to go Google those 2 words. Compound interest is the best 2 words written in the English language. That's how money works for you. You're not supposed to work for your money all your life. At some point, your money is supposed to start working for you. So learn what compound interest is. Learn what an ETF is. Learn what dividend stock versus non-dividend stock. Learn what a Vanguard bond is. Learn these terms, man. And check this out. It's not rocket science. Investing is not rocket science. Bitcoin, you got Ethereum, you got all this stuff. It's not rocket science, and you can start as little as $5. $5. You can start as little as $5. It's not rocket science. You just have to pull the trigger. But once you do, oh man, you will start seeing things on a whole new different thing. But also what you need to focus on, this is what I tell people, especially if you're nearing retirement, residual income. You need at least 6 streams of residual income.
Let's start them out with just one. Let's just say, hey, get one going.
One is, all right, one can be your pension. One can be your dividend stocks. One can be your Social Security. One could be SSSDI, your Social Security Disability Insurance. One can be your assets, you know.
But now here's the thing. One of the things you're talking about, though, something that you're discussing are things for a certain age bracket. We got to remember, we got people from all over the place here. One of the things I always tell people is learn how the whole thing works. Don't worry about the complicated things. Get just one.
Okay. How about YouTube?
Here's one: dollar cost averaging. You know, the concept that I don't look at how much or how little money I put away. Whenever I get $1, I just take the same percentage and put it away into some sort of investment.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. And it took me a while to learn because I never had financial teachers. I never had financial people in my life that pulled me to the side and said, hey, you know, invest in this, or you should only be living off certain amount. This is what I say. Try your best. Like most people say, you know, you should be saving at least 10%. No, you should be saving, try to live at least 80% of everything you learn. 20% should be in investing. You should never, ever top 80% of what you earn. If you make $100 a week, and I know that's a real low number, but just keeping it simple, you should be living off $80 a week. $20 should be going towards investment. Every month, steady. Whether things go up, whether things go down, you need to make that a steady. I don't care how, you know, like a roller coaster goes up and down, you should be that straight line through that roller coaster. You should keep it going steady. If you do that when you're young and you learn about how compound interest works, by the time you my age, I'm 57, you'll be a millionaire a few times over. Learn how compound interest works. Learn how money works for you. If you have no mentors in your life, read the books that me and Yusef just introduced you to. The Paul Hill Think and Grow Rich, Dennis Kimbro. But read the other version too, because we want to see it from our side. You know, read that Millionaire Next Door. You know, read those books. What I had to do is I had to start reading books and make those people, those authors of those books, my mentors. I didn't know them personally where I could call them on the phone, but I could pick up that book anytime. You know, I could pick up that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I could pick that up. You know, Kiyosaki, I can pick up his book anytime. So if you don't have those mentors, have those books. And I'm not talking about this, you know, I'm not talking about ebooks and shit. I'm talking about in your hand, because there's something about physical books, at least with me, that makes it real, that you see it laying there, makes you want to pick it up. If it's on your phone, you're gonna scroll right by it. So get those books.
Here's the thing, though. I would not say that. I would say you can do it both ways.
You can. I mean, I'm old school, though.
Yeah, but you got to get it wherever you can.
Absolutely agree. Listen, I don't care how they get it. Get it. I'm sure Yusef has a whole library that he recommends to his viewers.
Yeah.
Well, if you watch his channel, start believing some of the stuff. Take him up on his offer. Challenge him.
Yep. That's the thing. A lot of people just, I don't know. It's just one of those, I feel frustrated sometimes because I feel like people don't trust themselves enough to believe. People get comfortable. And they get comfortable even when they're in terrible situations. They get comfortable even when they don't have. It becomes very comfortable to say, well, I don't have, and I'm living in a situation where I'm going hand to mouth now. It'll be okay if that's okay for tomorrow. But it's not.
It's not okay. It's. Let me tell you something. It's good to be uncomfortable. It is good to be uncomfortable. When you are comfortable and when you are broke, that should make you uncomfortable. because I remember this is what started me. This is what started me on my journey. I remember I was in bed one day, and I was making good money. I was making good money, but I was blowing a lot of money.
Mm.
And my wife said, well, you know, she said, let's do something different this weekend. She says, I want to go to the movie, and they got this new restaurant open, and so let's go to dinner and let's do the movie. And I had like maybe $2 in my pocket, maybe $2. Night before, I had $400 in my pocket, but I went out there ordering bottles and acting crazy with my guy friends and showing off. So I went from $400 to $200 in probably 6 hours. And my wife knew I had a couple of $100 before I went out that night. So now I'm wondering in my mind, how the hell am I going to tell this woman laying next to me that has my last name, I ain't got no damn money? And it was embarrassing. And I had to say, honey, I don't have money. And the first thing, because she says, what the hell happened to money? He said, you got paid yesterday.
Ooh.
And she said, and you did a couple of hairs, because in my old life, I used to be a hairstylist too. That's a whole nother story. But my closet looked good. Closet looked good. But I didn't have enough money to take my wife to dinner, or enough sense to take my wife to dinner and a movie. And that right there, I said, never again. I said, never again. Never again. There are things that happen in your life that should be changing. Just like when I remember one time I was dating someone, I was living with my ex-girlfriend, and she told me 2 famous words that I never forget. Get out. And I'm like, get out, get out. And I said right then, I would never live under a roof unless my name was on it. So there should be things in your life that click that says, this is never going to happen to me again. Unfortunately, we have too many people that get comfortable with those scenarios, that get comfortable with telling their wife, baby, I blew the money, I don't have no money. Or get comfortable when somebody say, get out, you go live in your car until you find somewhere else to sleep. You should never get comfortable with that. And that's why I say uncomfortability is your best motivator, because those things made me very uncomfortable until I said, never again, never again. I started watching like Susie Orman, this blonde head, blue eyed white chick, man. But Susie Orman taught me a lot. She taught me about ETFs. She taught me about dividend stocks.
Yeah.
I had to go find my mentors. I didn't care. Listen, when you're trying to look for money and you're trying to learn about how money works, I don't care who or what color they are. I need to learn because I'm ignorant to all of it. So people should not get comfortable with being broke and not get comfortable with not having a plan for their future and not being able to say, I'm financially free, or building generational wealth if you have children. You should not,
Right.
That should make you real uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Don't get comfortable with that. I'm sorry, brother.
No, here's the thing. We're giving. Oh, here. Let me give you guys another book that I read quite a bit. I don't know if anybody. Let's see. Thomas Stanley, The Millionaire Mind.
I like that.
It's another book. I have. It's an amazing book.
Yeah. But check this out. For even people who are lazy about reading, guess what? They got so many videos up there. There's a black couple. I forgot their. Oh man, and I follow them religiously online. I don't have my other phone because I'm doing this interview over my phone. But it's a black couple, young black couple. They retire and they live off their dividends, and they teach you step by step how to invest, where to invest, and how to live off dividends. This is how they're living. Now, they don't have, because when situations happen like this coronavirus, everybody says, the experts say you should have at least 3 to 6 months of
Right.
Emergency fund. Me,
Yes.
I always tell people to have a year emergency fund. I don't believe in the 6 months. 6 months go by fast when you ain't got no money. Trust me, it does. But this couple says they have 2.5 years of emergency fund before they have to start dipping and doing and getting creative and other things. So there are a lot of mentors, even if you don't like to read, I suggest you read because leaders read and readers lead. Plain and simple.
I'm gonna steal that quote.
It's the truth. Leaders read and readers lead. You have to read. It feeds your mind. It feeds your mind. Now, and I've had people even tell me on my channel, Russell, you drink too much. Yeah, but I also read. So when I ask them, well, what books have you read lately? And you come with, I'm pretty good on that. But anyway, but there are a lot of good YouTubers that have good information on how to invest. Yusef, excellent brother. He talks about cryptocurrency, breaks it down. Hell, he could get more simple if he drove to your house and sat in your living room. Other people out there doing the same thing, and guess what? It's free information. I'm not a financial planner. Yusef, I don't know if you have a degree in financial planning or not.
No, I worked for 9 years as a financial professional, focusing on cash value, life insurance, mutual funds, finding ways to put your money away and not pay taxes on it legally. That's a big part of how I got where I am, and I was able to do that for quite a few people. I learned. Go ahead.
No, listen, and he's giving away free information. Do you know how much he used to charge people for that information?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
They don't want to know.
And he's giving it away for free. And hold on, this is a professional financial planner living in another country, living his best life, waking up when he want to wake up, doing what he want to do. And people are not, hold on. Everybody watch your channel should have some money. Otherwise, especially if they've been watching your channel more than a year. So if you've been watching Yusef more than a year and you still broke, please seek your nearest counselor.
Please ask for more help. Don't be mean to him.
Please
ask for more help.
Ask for more help. Ask for more help. Oh my God. Hold on. This man is credentialed down. I have 0 credentials. None. I just made smart choices. That's it. And I share with people my smart choices and hope that'll motivate them to make smart choices. But you are credentialed down, brother. I mean, you have and motivate me to start buying Bitcoin. You know that, right? I started purchasing Bitcoin.
Talk about it. Yeah. We'll have to talk about that soon.
I brought it right over my Cash App.
Well, listen, let's make that our next one. I don't want to give away all the goodies at once.
Okay.
I'm just glad that we could do this. This makes me feel good.
Listen, and this is my second time talking to the brother, and I jumped on his motivating advice the first time. I didn't need a year. I didn't need 6 months. The brother knows what he's talking about. And I'm happy to travel in circles and know people that know something. Because let me tell you something, man. This was unheard of 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I mean, actually building a circle of people that can teach you about money was unheard of 20 years ago. See, young folks don't know that. This was unheard of. And Yusef giving all this free jewels and diamonds and rubies out. This was unheard of. This was unheard of. So there is no excuse. There is no excuse.
Yeah, they'll hopefully they figure it out before it's too late.
Yeah, figure it out while they're on Skid Row. Me, I enjoy living my best life. I enjoy a private pool, vacation home, couple of properties in the U.S. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying because I come from a very poor background. Like I said, I was homeless at some points in my life. But thank God I had a mother that was strong as granite. But when I think about what I got now, how I started off, man, it blows my mind. And the thing is, information that we had to go out there and look for, turn over rocks, trees, and everything else, it's
Right.
at the click of a mouse. It's at the click of a mouse with these young
But
folks, man.
are we not at a situation where that, for some people, they still don't get it because now they want to. Well, hold on. I think Dollar Will said something. Free doesn't work for us because we confuse the price of a thing with the value of a thing, and that's true.
That is.
That's true. A lot of people don't understand that you can get quality information out there. You just have to make it a point to want it more than the other guy. You've got to want to take a time like this. Watch this. You got to take a time like this where most people are just going to come out and sound fatter. Why don't you take that same time, whatever time you would have been at work, take that 8 hours. I'm just going to go and study stuff.
Hell, hit 4 hours. Do 4 hours. The 8 hours that you would have spent at work, wake up late. Take 4 hours that you would have put in 8 hours, and we're not even talking about the hour drive and the hour back, or getting on the train hour and then the train hour back. Take 4 hours of those 8, 9, 10 hours and invest in yourself.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I think I've done quite a bit to try to convince people as much as possible to please subscribe to your channel and enjoy it.
But I just share my truth, man. That's all I do. That's all I do. I'm not credentialed down like you. Like I said, brother, I talked to you one time. You motivated me to go buy some Bitcoin.
We'll have to have what I want to have is a crypto investment jamboree where everybody just talks about what they understand about finance.
Well, I actually have and I'm gonna send a link to you. I got a chat called Black Wall Street, and all we do on that chat is talk about money. We don't talk about anything else. We don't talk about traveling. We don't talk about women. We don't talk about men. We talk only about money. And if you talk about anything else twice, you will be exited from the group. All we talk about is money. So you have to stay focused on money because, like I said, my dream is to get together with other successful Black people and let's build the next Black Wall Street. And it starts with buying land.
I've always had things I've never invested in land. I've always invested in things that I could live, like a Ninja Turtle.
Right.
That I could just throw back and go. But here's the thing, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, well, look, in Dominican Republic, when during those years that the Nazis had the whole Holocaust thing coming on, everybody was very sympathetic to the Jewish people. Of course, they showed no sympathy towards Black people, but very sympathetic to the Jewish people. And guess what? The Dominican Republic itself, and you should read about this history, it's very interesting, gave Jewish people all this land. I mean, just land. I mean, just acres and acres of land. Acres and acres of land. Right there in Sosúa. Prime real estate. A lot of that generation has either died or sold the land or moved to Israel or whatever they did. So there may be a few, when I'm talking like maybe 3 people left out of that that whole cadre of Jewish people that they actually gave that land to. And right now they're selling it. Now they got the land free, but they're selling the land for their generations are selling the land for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I always look at the blueprint of Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I don't know if anybody's ever read that book, but that's another good book by. It's called The Black Wall Street by Hannibal something. I forgot the person's last name. It's a Black author. And I look at that blueprint. Now, America will not let us have it. They've already showed us that. But why not get out of the matrix? Go somewhere where there's more freedom and create the same blueprint, and we can do it. So now I'm into, like I said, I like, and I'm invested. I'm very diversified as far as assets and gold and silver, stocks, bonds, dividends, now Bitcoin. But land is something that you can touch, see, feel, roll over it in. And especially if you're looking at generational wealth, and especially if you're looking at building a black Mecca. And so I'm telling people, man, listen, look, a lot of that land, community, the Jewish families did not develop, and they're selling it now. And so I'm trying to encourage a lot of black people, man, let's start buying up that land. Because that's prime land. It's near a beach. It's vacation town. I mean, man, it's, and I don't even have children. I buried 2 of my children. My son, he had Down syndrome. He died when he was 27. My daughter died when she was 21. She had sickle cell anemia and due to complications. So I don't have generational wealth. I could leave my stuff too. But what I am leaving my estate to is to my investment group that I started a few years back, because I want to see black excellence. I want to see black people build that Black Wall Street. And I want to have some part of my legacy said I had a small hand in helping build that next Black Wall Street. I don't think it can happen in the United States, but I absolutely see it happening outside of the matrix. I absolutely do.
So let me get this right. You wait till now to mention that you have an investment group? Now.
Yeah, man.
Till now.
We flipping houses in the States. And our thing is, we flip houses in the States. We take the money that we make and then we buy properties overseas, because overseas is the ultimate goal. That's what the investment group basically is about. It's not about making a lot of money in the U.S. It's about making the money in the U.S., but taking the money overseas, where we have more freedom with that money and what we can do with it. I'm into a few things, brother. But I want to encourage people to start thinking outside that box and start thinking like that. Building that next Black Wall Street. Getting involved. Building that next Black Wall Street. Like I said, man, listen, I'm with your audience tonight. I'm not with my audience. But if you follow Brother Yusef, man, take some of the steps that the brother's doing. Read some of those books. Shit, if you need counseling, pay him for counseling. Like me, I charge $40 to talk to me. Because a lot of people want to waste your time. So I'm not going to let people waste my time. So if you want to talk to me, I tell people I charge $40 for consultation, only one time. You can call me as much as you want after that. But I know people not going to waste money. So if you're not going to waste money, then you're not going to waste your time. Or if you waste your time, you ain't going to waste my time. Pay me $40. Now, I don't know if Yusef charged me anything for a consultation fee, but I charge for my time. Especially
I have my Patreon, which is where I deal with a lot of the people that
I do too. But I also, if you're not a Patreon for at least 6 months, and you want to talk to me, you can't join Patreon and say, all right, I want to talk to you. No. You've been a Patreon for 6 months, we can talk, because my Patreon people have my phone number and they have unlimited access to me. But that takes 6 months being in too, because I look back, you ain't been on my Patreon for 6 months, you can't talk to me, man, not without $40. No, because you're not going to waste my time. I don't have that time to waste. I really don't. And I'm not trying to be big-headed or anything, but I've talked to people for hours and then find out the person don't even have a passport. So why are you asking me all these questions about overseas, taking care and handling business overseas? You don't even have a passport. So when that situation happened, I said, nope, I gotta flip the script, and I gotta do things more smart. So now I have a consultation fee, $40. We can talk till the cows come home, and you have access to me. But now, just talking to you to talk to you, no, I don't. And I know you said you ain't got that kind of time, and I know I don't have that time. I don't care if it's sitting on my couch. I can still be sitting on my couch watching TV, goddamn it.
Wow. Well, listen. Here's what we're gonna do.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have a strictly financial chat where I want you to come in and I want you to pack all the links to all your different things that you want to introduce people to that they can do with you or
Yes,
through
sir.
your groups. We may have to invite a few more people to
Absolutely.
be on with us. We're gonna probably have to do this privately. I'd like to do one on your Patreon and one on mine. I'd like to make this something for the people who want it. You know,
let's do it.
For the people who want it. These are the things that I do. And for me, I do arcane consultation, which has the shortest description of any of them because it's almost all one-on-one. And I've only limited to like 5 people. You get all the other stuff, but it's basically I sit with you as we go through different things. Wow.
See, you are much more methodical. I'm gonna tell you. See, with you, and this is the difference between us. With you, and you're very professional. I have to compliment you. You are one of the most professional black men that I am so happy to be associated with. And you take things and you treat your business as a business, not as a hobby. And what a lot of black people don't understand is because they treat their business like a hobby and their hobby like a business. And you can't do that. For me, honestly, my whole YouTube thing and giving information, it's a hobby. And I treat it like a hobby. And a lot of people say, man, you should get more serious. Russell, what are you doing? You should get more serious with it. But I like to keep my circle small. And so I'm not trying to get big because I had almost one time 20,000 followers on my YouTube channel. And guess what I did? I deleted the channel. Now, a lot of people thought I was a fool. They were like, man, that's crazy because I know you're making money, but why are you doing this? I deleted the channel. I deleted the Patreon because I didn't need it. I have residual income and I have a pretty decent income. I did it because it was becoming overwhelming and I just needed time for me. And YouTube was taking too much of my time because to do YouTube right, and I know cats that are literally making 6 figures on YouTube, but that's their job. And like yourself, you said you treat this as professional. Me, I treat it as a hobby. That's why I get on there and I can do unfiltered and be drunk as hell and rant, but have some good stuff. You don't do that if you're professional with it. So I applaud you, brother. I applaud you on showing folks how to do it right. I tell people if you're trying to learn how to do YouTube right, don't come to my channel. But I will tell them to come to your channel. Because, like I said, now my investment group, I treat it as a business. And when I talk to my partners, I'm in a business mindset. It's not a hobby. It is a business. And I try to convince them this is a business. If you want to treat it as a hobby, let me know and I'll buy you out. I'll buy your share out. No problem. I'll buy you out. I have no issue with that. I will buy you out. But that's my thing with YouTube. But like I said, YouTube is a great way of, and this is how we started off this conversation tonight, with us telling our story our way. And YouTube is especially if you're an SME, that means subject matter expert in anything. YouTube is a great vehicle for you to make some residual income, make money on your Patreon page. People will support if you're sincere, know what you're talking about. People will support you. I mean, like I said, and if you want to learn how to do it right, you want to learn how to do it professionally, Yusef is a great person to aspire to actually do it the correct way. Me, don't do it. I drunken rants unfiltered, so no.
We got to say goodbye to these people. Don't hang up. I'm gonna keep you on this side. I wanna leave this the way we started by telling everybody, trust me, he does more than just drunken rants. Please, y'all, go check this man out. And go ahead.
Only got 2 drunken rants. That's it.
Only 2 drunk rants, and that's a good place to be. All right, then. Well, listen, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with you. As they say in the business, you could have been anywhere in the world right now, but you were here with us, and we appreciate it. Anybody wants to email about any of the books, let me know. And what do they say in Terminator movie? You know, I'll be back, or rather, this time it'll be we'll be back.